This video presents a broad overview of the FCRH freshman self-registration process and explains how does it work. As you watch this video, don't worry too much about the details. There will be plenty of those to come. Just make sure you understand the big picture and the responsibilities you have as a college student during each of the 7 key steps of freshman self-registration. Step 1 is what you have hopefully just completed. Completing the freshman survey and taking the math and/or foreign language placement exams online. You're now in step 2, which is to watch the registration video tutorials here on Blackboard. And as you're doing so, step 3, to speak with your assigned SFAC about any questions or concerns that you may have as you start to learn about how registration works. In step 4, you'll get some registration guidance from an online tool called DegreeWorks, and then use another online tool called the My.Fordham search tool to actually identify specific course sections to take, and that will help you arrange your fall schedule. Then in step 5, you'll register for courses during an assigned period. And in step 6, we will pause your ability to register so your SFAC can review your schedule for any errors or issues, and we would ask that you be patient during that time. And finally, in step 7, your ability to make changes will resume, and you will make changes as needed first, and then as desired. Your SAC should have already introduced themselves by email to you, but a SFAC stands for Summer Freshman Academic Coordinator. There are plenty of acronyms at Fordham, and you can add this one to the list. Your SFAC is your personal guide to the self-registration process, and they are available by email and phone, and in person during the summer orientation programs. Let's take a look now at step 1 very briefly, since you've already completed it. So as you already know, the freshman registration survey that you took on My.Fordham asks you about your curricular plans. Do you want to be pre-health? What's your major of interest? What foreign language do you want to study? And this helps generate registration guidance. You also will likely have taken 1 or more placement exams. The math placement exam is for science and pre-health students, and these students should have received an email about this. And the language placement exam is for all students, unless there's no placement exam in the language of your choice, or you're planning to start a new language. This also helps to generate placement guidance. Honors program and varsity student athletes do complete the survey and exams, but they do not self-register, as they'll already be registered through their specialized advising staffs. Let's take a look at step 2, which is where you are now. In step 2, you continue to do what you're doing right now, watching these video tutorials on Blackboard. Now, registration can seem tricky at first, but as you'll soon find, our video tutorials break down the process into bite-sized pieces. You've likely already found Blackboard is accessed through the BB link on the upper left side of your My.Fordham portal. Please, do not try to watch all of the tutorials in one sitting. There's simply too much material, and we want you to be able to digest it in a calm and organized fashion. Not all of the modules in this Blackboard course may apply to you. If you're not a STEM or science student or pre-health, for example, you may not need to worry about that module. Or if you're not an ESL student, then you may not need to worry about that module. But many of these are applicable to all students, like the introduction module, the core curriculum module, the AP and IB module. Many students have these credits. How to register. You'll see our video tutorials follow a thematic outline of these modules, each of which contains several video tutorials, like this one. Let's take a look at step 3, which will continue to happen in June and really throughout the rest of the summer. So as and after you're watching these video tutorials, be sure to contact your SFAC if anything doesn't make sense or about your individual situation. But make sure that your question is not already answered in a video tutorial, because your SFAC will direct you back to the video tutorials if your question is answered there. As we said before, the SFACs will be available at 3 summer orientation programs for in-person consultations. We move on now to step 4, which will start in about the middle of June and continue through the month of July. The responses that you provided on the freshman survey and the results of your placement exams will be used to generate a set of registration guidance for you that will be visible through a tool called DegreeWorks, which will display course recommendations based on your placement and curricular plans. Once you've used DegreeWorks to identify the courses, the requirements that you're planning on completing, you'll then use another tool, which is on My.Fordham, to search for specific course sections and choose the various days and times that you'll have class. As you do this, you'll be assembling your fall schedule, which leads us naturally into step 5, which will take place in late July or early August, depending on your planned curriculum. Your SVAC will confirm for you the beginning day and time at which you can register, and this will depend on whether you are a STEM or pre-health student or if you are not one. The idea here is that science schedules are often far trickier to compose and make work with a student's requirements than non-science schedules, so we want students who have these more complex schedules to be able to have a bit more time to make arrangements for their classes and sort out any concerns that they may have. As you're going into step 5, you'll want to pay close attention to the How to Register module and have plenty of backup course options. You'll be able to add drop from the first day and time you're able to start registering until the start of the schedule review period, at which point we will pause your ability to register. And of course, your SVACs will be available for consultation throughout. Your DegreeWorks portal, which tracks your degree progress and provides the recommendations for your courses, will update as you register for classes. Once you've registered to your satisfaction during step 5, you'll proceed to step 6, which will take place beginning in the middle through to closer to the end of August. This is the schedule review period, where your SVAC will carefully review your schedule for any errors or concerns. You want to make sure that you check your email especially frequently during this time, as your SVAC will email you directly if there is anything that they would like to discuss with you. You will be unable to directly make schedule changes, and the only schedule changes that we were permitted during this time are limited ones through your SVAC, and only then for error corrections or significant curricular changes, like wanting to leave or join pre-health, needing to change your choice of foreign language, something like that. If you said, hey, on second thought, maybe I don't want to take English composition at 8:30, not much of a morning person, that is definitely a change that you would be able to make after the review period is completed and your SVAC has ensured that your schedule is free of any significant errors. After the schedule review period concludes, your ability to register and make changes will be restored. And this is step 7. So what we recommend is during this period, focus on making any needed changes first, and then preferred ones. Don't simply change your schedule to change your schedule. Course enrollments change constantly, so you may find that during this period, a course that was closed is now open. And as we said before, these student-initiated changes will continue beginning at the conclusion of the schedule review period through the end of the college's fall add-drop period, and your SVAC will confirm all of these dates for you. Your SVAC's service to you will end on the Thursday before the first day of fall classes, at which point your core advisor, who is your full year academic year advisor, will take over, and any schedule questions should be directed to them beginning that Thursday before the first day of class. To conclude this video, let's take a look at our main goals for you during this self-registration process. The first is for you to be educated and knowledgeable about your education, to have an idea about why we require you to take the courses that we do, and the great options that you have available to you to fulfill these requirements. That leads us into the second goal, which is student choice. There are many ways to complete the core that can suit your interest. The third is attention to detail. There are a good number of details that you'll need to keep in mind as you build your schedule and register, and we want you to start paying attention to those. And finally, of course, is for you to make progress towards the core and any relevant major and pre-professional programs.